Bethune-Cookman University head football coach Raymond Woodie Jr. announced his full 2023 coaching and support staff, featuring 3 returning staff members and 13 new hires. DJ McCarthy will serve as assistant head coach and special teams coordinator. McCarthy returns for his second stint with the Wildcats with over 20 years of coaching experience. Robert Wimberly was named defensive coordinator and linebackers coach. Wimberly joins the Wildcats after his tenure with Northern Illinois, where he was executive assistant coach. Joe Gerbino and Dante Pimpleton were named co-offensive coordinators. Gerbino will also serve as quarterback coach, while Pimpleton will work with the running backs. David Stuckman will serve as passing game coordinator and safeties coach. Former Wildcat and NFL defensive back Nick Collins was named cornerbacks coach. He is a former Super Bowl defensive MVP. Brandon Washington will be the Wildcats offensive line coach. Demetrius Coley was named defensive line coach. Devarius Jackson was named nickels and outside linebackers coach. Chad Lucas returns to the BCU staff, serving as wide receivers coach and academic liaison. On the support staff, Shelton Gaffney was named head strength coach. Jeff Fagan will return to the BCU support staff as the new general manager. Tim Weston was named director of football operations. Myron Dillard will serve as director of recruiting. Dillard begins his second season under Woodie after serving as defensive analyst at FAU for the 2022 football season. Ricky Lehman will reprise his role as director of football video. He will begin the second season of his second stint at BCU. After the 2022 season, Lehman was nominated for FCS Video Coordinator of the Year. Alvin Wyatt Jr. will reprise his role as Athletics Equipment Manager. Gene Desson rounds out the Wildcat staff, serving as Operations Assistant. HBCU Game Day, and we are here with newly hired head coach Raymond Woodie, coming back to Bethune-Cookman after a 1996 graduate and world travels as a coach. Coach, how does it feel to be back on the campus of Bethune-Cookman University?
It feels great. I mean, not having an opportunity to see what all BCU has to offer. I mean, since I was at the university, I mean, it's unreal.
Bethune-Cookman has a long tradition, with this being the 100th year of football here at Bethune-Cookman. Just talk about when you were playing and what the traditions were like when you were playing.
Well, we had the mentality. I mean, obviously, playing for Jack Sy, he brought in that hard hat, come to work, go to work, and that's what really helped us throughout our years here.
And you talk about the greats at Bethune-Cookman. Larry Little was also a great, came back and coached, and Coach Alvin Shine Wyatt also came back and coached, and they were greats that actually turned the program around in their own different ways during their tenure. How do you plan to follow in that legacy?
Well, I tell you what, I mean, Larry Little, I mean, he's someone that I highly respect, as well as Alvin Wyatt. I mean, I spoke with those guys recently, and, just having them come around and evaluate, I mean, that's something that I'm excited for them to do, because those guys, I mean, they paved the way.
Is Shine going to help you dress for the games?
Well, you know what, I don't know, but I tell you what, he's really good at that now.
Looking at Bethune-Cookman, a couple of down years in a row, and you're basically starting from scratch to build the program up. What are your first steps? I heard you say for the first 30 days, one of your first goals is to establish the coaching staff.
Yes, obviously just want to be able to meet with the players, just kind of see what we have here already. My main goal is to make sure that we set the foundation with the players here, and then getting the coaching staff together to be able to fit the needs of what we have. I mean, obviously you don't want to hire guys with certain skill sets that doesn't fit the players, so that's going to be important, being able to get the foundation with the players, seeing what we have here, and then hiring coaches that's committed equally to both on the classroom and on the field.
Coach, on game day, you got the Bethune-Cookman cheerleaders, you got Dr. Wells and that Marching Wildcats band. How are you going to feel, do you think you're going to feel when you walk on that field as the head coach now of the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats?
You know what? First reaction, man, I may want to put a helmet on, but, at the end of the day, it's going to feel really good, having the opportunity to, play here, to be able to feel that experience. I mean, I'm so looking forward to it.
All right, Coach Raymond Woodie, we wish you well. The brand new head coach of the Bethune-Cookman University Wildcats. Coach, how does it feel to finally get this day behind you and begin to move forward?
It was like a day that was never going to start. And before we get started, I want to thank you and HBCUGameday for your contribution to our situation. We had the conversation about the helmets. And not only did you guys champion us in this tough times, you put your money up. And you saw the need, and as a company that really is about HBCUs in general, is so appreciative of what you guys started. And then, of course, there was another, check presentation, and hopefully that's how it starts. You have a need, you address it, and then let your fans, come to your rescue. But you were first, so we really appreciate that.
Absolutely, Coach. When something happens like that, you got three options. You can sit there and banter on social media. You could do nothing or figure out what you can do, and that's what we can do. And we really want to charge every other HBCU alum, to support your school. But if you got some extra, make sure you support someone else, because at the end of the day, I really got emotional when I looked up on that third row and saw those players in the Blazers, because I was them, a different school at FAMU, of course, but I was them, and so we've all got to, as HBCUs and HBCU grads, reach back out. So now you got a recruiting class in, partially done, but coaches working diligently on that and assembling the coaching staff. What do you expect to come out of the spring with Coach putting all of this together now?
You never know, because the portal it's fluid, and you just never know who might want to come. After the situation, we still signed somewhere between 7 and 10 players. So people understand that BCU is still a great place to get an education and play football. Adding Coach Woodie to this enhances that. He's a great reputation. He's a great recruiter. And he's got great backing through NFL players and all the things that the players want today, that connection to the NFL, that connection to the NBA. They want that. So Coach brings that to the table. So you really don't know what's going to happen. But I will say, more than anything, when you make a change, you have a new person come in, he's able to establish a new mindset. And I think discipline, the ability to stay focused throughout the entire game, these are the things that I want to see happen early. Because winning and losing, sometimes you can't control that. But you can control your mistakes, you can control your effort and your focus. That's the one thing I know he's going to be working on.
Well, Coach, 100 years of BCU football, there is a lot of history there between Cy McLaren and Larry Little and Shine Wyatt and Rasheem Mathis. There's a lot of history here in Bethune-Cookman Athletics. How honored are you to be the athletic director to guide the team through their 100th year?
100 years of great football, in the spirit of Dr. Bethune. What Woody embraced and what I understand now more so than when I first got here, this university is about teaching, learning, and serving. Those are the words that keep coming up in all the quotes and all the conversations about the legacy of Dr. Bethune. And I think that when I talked to Coach Woodie about those things, he embraced those things because he already knew them. He knew them because he was here before. And I think that really helps. For me as a person, to have an opportunity to come back and move the needle with the things, I said, there's no reason for me to be here if I can't move the needle. And the opportunity for me to come back to the Central Florida area, because I was here a long time ago, is a blessing. I feel very blessed. People say, well, why are you doing this? What's going on? I feel very blessed to have the opportunity to be the athletic director and also coach basketball. It's a lot of work, but I know that we have a great future ahead of us, and I know that there's a lot of fans, a lot of alumni out there that are just waiting to get behind this university, and we're trying to give them the avenue to do that.
And Coach, final question. In the press conference today, I did recognize that alumni are very excited about Coach Woody. It's always good at an HBCU when you can bring back one of your own, but when they're skilled and have the experience to come back, does that make you feel a little bit better about your selection?
Well, I felt better about the selection once we talked. Once I spent time with him and got a feel for who he is as a person, you start to understand. Then you realize that alumni are very important to any HBCU, and particularly ours, because it's, they haven't had that in a while. And you think about the people that have called me, the people that have pushed his name. It's been pretty amazing. And also the players. You always want to try to embellish your history and embrace your history. And your players also embrace that. And see, in college it's different because your history and your alumni and your togetherness, that's what sells your program when it's in a tough time, when you're in that lull. It's all about the university, it's all about its history, and it's all about the alumni. And that's what Woody brings. He brings all those things together because he played at a high level here at Bethune-Cookman.
All right, HBCU Game Day wrapping up from the campus of Bethune-Cookman University. I know it as the Hanfield Center. They call it something else now, but ATC. We're here at the ATC, the beautiful facility here at Bethune-Cookman University. And we welcomed brand new Bethune-Cookman University head coach, Raymond Woodie, for HBCU Game Day. We're out.